Hello everyone. So, unfortunately for women, you have to endure a menstrual cycle. And when you're on your menstrual cycle, I heard that sometimes women think that they think themselves, how many other women in the world are on their period right now? So I'm going to attempt to figure that out today. But before I get into that, I want to make one thing known. The figure that I come up with, the numbers that I come up with, they're going to be greatly estimated or approximated. There's a lot of unknown factors because women don't start their period at any certain age and they don't end their period at any certain age. They could start, some girls start earlier than others, some start later, some women end their period earlier, so on and so forth. Not to mention that some women who are even within the range of being on their period, they're pregnant, and in general, women who are pregnant aren't on their period, although some women who are pregnant are on their period. So there's a lot of factors. The point is that there's a whole bunch of factors, so there's like almost no way I'm going to be able to give you an exact number. But I'm going to try to figure it out as best as I can. Okay, so I have some numbers so far, and one thing that I found out is generally girls have their period between the ages of 8 and 55. Now again, some girls start later. I mean, there could be girls who start the period at 9, 10, 11, 15 years old. But then there are others who maybe start at 7 years old. And then of course on the other side, there could be women who have their period past 55 years old, or maybe before 55 years old. So again, I can't stress this enough, a lot of approximations, but we're going to use the numbers between 8 and 55. So now the question is, how many women in the world, how many females in the world are there between the ages of 8 and 55? That I've also found to be hard to find out. The numbers that I found were in these age brackets from 0 to 14, 15 to 44, and 45 to 64. Now, obviously I don't want how many people are from the ages of 0 all the way to 14. Again, I just want to 8. So we're going to take this number. This is the number of people total in the world. 1,864,072,480. That's the total males and females between the ages of 0 and 14. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that number in half to try to factor out all the people between ages 0 and 7, because again, girls generally don't have their period between 0 and 7. So I know a lot of this is confusing, but it's really hard to find out. Okay, so we have 1,864,072,480 boys and girls between the ages of 0 and 14. So we're going to divide that by 2 to give us an approximate number of boys and girls between the ages of 8 and 14. So ages 8 to 14, there's approximately, what is this, 932,036,240. Okay, and now that's boys and girls. And so I don't want just boys and girls, I want girls. So I have to cut that number in half one more time because, of course, men don't have their periods. I just want the women who have their periods. So we're going to take this 932 million, whatever, divided by 2. Okay, now this is how many girls there are. Okay, girls 8 to 14 equals 466,018,120. So we're done with this number for now. Okay? Now, people ages, this is men and women, 15 to 44. We have, let's go ahead and put this on the calculator. We have 3,292,837,680 9. Okay, that's men and women. So we're going to again divide that by 2 to find out how many women are in that bracket. So between girls between ages 15 to 44 equals 1,646,418,844.5. Okay, and now the final 45 to 64. Again, we have the problem because we're not doing all the way to ages 64. We're just doing to 55. So I'm going to take this number from 45 to 64, and I'm going to just automatically divide that in half, again, to try to factor out the people who are over 55 years old. So we got 1,406,651,977. Going to divide that by 2, and so this number, over 703 million, this is how many people, men and women, again men and women, are between ages 45 and 64, okay? But now, since we want how many females are between ages 45, I'm sorry, okay. I cut this down in half, so now it's between ages 45 and 55, approximately, since I cut it in half. But again, this is men and women. So I'm going to cut this in half one more time, divide by 2, and this is going to give me how many females there are between the ages of 45 to 55. Equals, okay, what's this number? We got 351 million. 994.25. Okay, now I'm going to add all these numbers up. Remember, this is done already. I'm going to add all these 3 numbers up right here, and that's going to give me the amount of women total between the ages of 8 and 55, say the period years, okay? So we already have the 351 million out here, so I'm going to add the second one. That's 1,646,000,000. 1,646,418,849.5 plus 466 million. Oh, okay, just to let you know, the last one, that was between ages 15 to 44. Now I'm doing ages 8 to 14. So I got 466 million. 018,120 for a grand total of 2 billion. Here, let's write this. I'm going to put period years women or females. So the females between the ages of 8 and 55 in their period years, there are 2,469,963.75. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple more things here. One, I have to find out what are the odds of a woman being on her period at any given time, and I also have to exclude pregnant women because, again, in general, pregnant women aren't on their periods. So I think I'm going to exclude pregnant women first. So another number that I found out is that there are 130 million babies born every year in the entire world. Okay, so that means that there were 130 million women who were pregnant throughout the year. So I'm going to, from this number, I'm going to go ahead and minus 130 million. So minus 130 million. How many is that? 6 zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 130 million equals 2,334,000,000. Blah blah blah. Okay. And now that's how many women. Okay. I'm gonna write it down. 2,334,000,000 .75 women in the entire world who are within the period years, okay? But now, what are the odds that any given woman is on her period? Okay, well, this is another thing. This is another factor. Girls don't always have their periods for the same amount of time. Some girls have their period for 1 or 2 days. Some girls have their period for several days. So say between 1 and 7 days. So we're going to just average 1 and 7. So say some girls have their period for 1 day. Say some girls have their period for 7 days. So that's 8 days total divided by 2 equals 4. So the average girl is on her period for 4 days, we're going to say, okay? So 4 days out of the month. So 4 days out of the month, a girl in the period years is on her menstrual cycle, divided by 31, divided by an average of 30 days in a month. So 4 days per month that a girl's on her period, divided by 30 days in a month, equals about 13.33%. So if you just stop a random girl on the street and she's within the period years, there's about a 13.33% chance that she's going to be on her period. And so now we have to take 13.33% of this 2 billion number, and that'll give us approximately how many women are on the period. Okay, so let's write out this big old number. So we got 2,304,099,963.75 times 13.33%, so convert that to a decimal, that's 0.1333 equals 311,135,525.1678, so I'm just going to round that to 0.17. So at any given time, there are about 300 million. Again, since this is approximation, you could plus or minus, let's say, plus and or minus what? Say 11 million for a margin of error. So 311 million plus or minus 11 million for a margin of error. So at any given time, there are approximately 300 million females in the entire Earth, entire world, 300 million females in the entire world on their periods at any given time.